Alright, ladies and dudes, time for another video from this guy, Jeremy McDonald, one of your very favorite, well, I hope so anyway, people with Parkinson's. Here to talk to you today about my first symptoms. Now, I did a video probably about 3 years ago, and I thought it was kind of time to update it. I've got some new equipment. I think I make it look a little flashier, a little smoother. I actually thought of some new information I could include, so this video is going to be, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know a lot of this. But trust me, stick around, it'll be worth it. Trust me, it'll be awesome. Alright, I was diagnosed in 2013. Now, if I were to be honest, I could trace my symptoms back much farther than that. I think when I used to play in a band, which is when I first started having symptoms that I recognized as something was wrong. It was 2006, 2007. And I remember around then, I remember having this weird stiffness in my guitar hand. Like, not only did my fingers not move fast, I was having trouble making chords, holding certain positions with my hand, which was kind of troubling as a guitar player, but I had a very physical job at the time. I assumed it was carpal tunnel. I went for the test. They said, you have a slight bit of carpal tunnel, but they didn't really have any real reason for what was happening to me. So I just kind of shrugged it off and thought, well, I guess I'm just getting older. But that was not to be, sadly. Next thing that started to happen was stiffness in my shoulder and my forklift turning arm, and even in this one too, but specifically my left arm. Stiffness and weakness. Like I said, I had a physical job. I worked in the cold, so you figure out some of the stiffness might have come from that. But once again, nobody else was having these troubles. I mean, like, I would turn the wheel, and I'd get about 3 turns in, it just would start to slow down. It would lock up. I thought I had shoulder impingement, nerve impingement, something impinging something or whatever. Something that was not Parkinson's. But once again, got to follow the breadcrumbs here. It was troubling. I just felt something was off, and I once again went to the doctor for it. They did the CAT scan, or I forget what they did. They did an X-ray and something else. Might have been an MRI. Nothing. Getting old. Get used to it. All right, this ties into the band. I was a singer in the band as well as playing the guitar, and I remember feeling incredible strain in my vocal cords. Now it was yeah all night long. So you figured that probably, sorry guys, you figured that probably had something to do with it. And of course, I did have calluses, so I had calluses on my vocal cords, so that was from the screaming, but there was a weakness to my voice. I remember going out to the bar and thinking, why is it so hard to talk, to get my voice to raise above the rest of the crowd? I mean, they even put a camera down my throat, which was really weird and uncomfortable. Once again, getting old. Stop screaming in bars. Okay, this next one was just kind of this all-pervading fatigue. Just this malaise that just kind of hung around me all the time, even after work or before work. I would wake up tired, and I just thought, getting old once again. Getting old. Now, at the time, I was 32. This next one was very debilitating. This was depression. I have struggled off and on during my life with depression. Not clinical depression, just feeling blue and down. But this was something, this was a new monster. This, like, it got on my back and just would not let go. Just strangled the life out of me. And then on top of that, I started having panic attacks, which once again I'd struggled with as a kid, and as a teenager I can get sometimes very nervous around crowds. A lot of people have that, but these were becoming increasingly more severe, where I just couldn't think. I would just freeze and just panic over very small things. But the depression was pretty bad, so I went on antidepressants. Thought, I'm just getting old once again. See, it's all about getting old. Parkinson's, let me just put it this way. Parkinson's makes you get old really fast. That's the best way to kind of to describe it to someone who's never had it. Your symptoms, other than the tremor, which I did not have until far after my diagnosis, unless I got really upset, then I would shake. But it basically, for me anyway, it made me feel like a very old man, like I was aging at you know the movie Benjamin Button where he ages in reverse? Well, I was like aging quickly. I felt like I was 60 when I was only 30. And then my band broke up, which once again, I would be depressed about that. I loved that band. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good times. It didn't break up because of my hand or my vocal issues. It broke up just because bands don't last forever, but that was depressing. This one my wife pointed out to me. She said, we were on a walk and I had some flip-flops on or something, which I never wear. And she says, why are you shuffling? And am I shuffling? I said, I'm tired. She goes, you're shuffling like an old man. And I literally was not picking my feet up off the ground. I was just kind of shuffling along. I thought I'm tired, which I was, and I'm wearing flip-flops. Then we went to Puerto Rico, and I remember getting these weird sores on my feet in weird places that I never had before, and I just thought it was a bad footwear, but it was, my gait had changed. My feet started to like turn inward. It was really weird. It was hard to describe. I remember going to a chiropractor, and she said, do you know you're dragging your left foot? And I said, what? I did not consider myself to be a leg dragger, but apparently I was, because she could see by the scuff marks on my boot that my left foot was dragging. I was having so many problems with my feet that I went to a podiatrist, and she said, do you walk on ladders? I said, no. She said, you have microfractures all along the sides of your feet like you've been walking on ladders. Near as I can figure, my gait had changed, and I was resting the weight of my body on the sides of my feet, and it was causing stress fractures. Now, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, he has stress fractures in his feet from the way he performs. I was not doing Steven Tyler moves anywhere at work or on stage, so that couldn't have been in, but the nearest I could figure, I was carrying the weight on the sides of my feet. And then stepping on and off the equipment, I would rest my whole body on the sides of my feet on the edge of metal equipment and stepping onto pallets. So that would explain the stress fractures in my feet. This was a scary one, just spacing out. I'd be at work and my face would go blank, lack of expression on my face. And I literally would feel like I was just in space. It was like my thinking slowed down, and that was really scary when that happened, and I couldn't move my face. Now, I knew this was happening, but people would say, are you on drugs? What's wrong with you? Did you smoke a doobie before you came to work? Are you on heroin? And I was like, no, something is wrong with me. And they used to call me slow-mo at work because I didn't even realize I was doing it. I would move in slow motion, which is called Bradykinesia. That was one of the really troubling things. I came home and told my wife, I said, people are telling me that I move slow like an old man. She said, don't listen to those people. But then I watched footage of myself. Someone had filmed me doing something, and I thought, oh my God, I'm moving like a snail. It was really freaky because it was like, in my own body, I didn't realize that I was doing it, but seeing it from an outside perspective, I was like, wow, something is really wrong. At this point, I'd been going on and off to doctors for 2 years. I knew something was wrong. I finally got an appointment with a neurologist after neck, shoulder, foot, psychiatrist, all these doctors. And I was in the office for about 5 minutes, and she made me do like the touch your nose and do like touch your fingers and do your light. See, I can't really do it. My hands are stiff. Pretend like you're putting a light bulb in. See, medicine doesn't fix everything. And she said, let me go and look at your brain scan. She came back and she said, you, my friend, have Parkinson's. And I thought, I knew it. I'm going to leave my hat off. I knew I had something wrong. I knew something was wrong with me. And there was like this wave of like relief and dread at the same time. I've got Parkinson's. That's the secret. That's the key. That's the answer to the riddle that I've been dying to know why it felt like dog do for like almost a decade. So, all that being said, do not just jump automatically to you have Parkinson's. A lot of these symptoms could be other things. But if you have a lot of these, I think I listed 10 to 12. If you have any combination of, I would say, about 5 of these, maybe you just have 1 or 2, go to the doctor. Now, they can't stop the progression, but at least you'll have a name for this monster before it gets out of control. Because my life was chaos before I was diagnosed. people were like, what the hell's wrong with Jeremy? He can't walk right. He can't move right. He seems like he's out of it all the time. It was a scary, scary time. And when she said Parkinson's, like I said, it's this weird relief that flooded over me. Then the dread came, which it will come. But when I found out there was medication, because I said, I'm done, right? She's like, nothing I can do. She goes, well, there is medication. And that helped for a little bit. And then, well, that's a story for another day. Thanks, guys, for watching. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I'll put the links in the description. As always, peace and love from the cloudy city of St. Louis.